Hey, I need to build a space robot. I wonder if the robot I build will look like the one on the package. It's time for Aaron Does It Wrong in support of Casey Hudson and WorldWorkings.com. This robot is based on a feline species, so it will need to have a flexible spine. This robot needs to be as agile as Gus, the newest member of WorldWorkings.com industrial lubricant team. I'm simply using the kit parts from these types of assembly toys, and I'll give you updates as I build specific sections. We're starting with the spine. These will be the shoulders. I'm trying to make them narrow like cat shoulders. This is a small extension to make it easier to attach the front legs, and here is the neck. The head is where most of the sensory receptors of the robot will be located, though the central core will be housed within the body. It will be attached to the head, and these are the pieces that I'll use to make this attachment. This attachment looks like it went on easily, but I edited most of the work out. These rods will be used to make the legs. I realized that I had positioned this piece wrong for the tail, so I'll rotate the piece so that the tail extends upwards, and then I can attach the hips. The front legs attach onto the shoulders. I'll make the rear legs from bigger pieces than the front, since most animals have larger rear legs than front legs. But I will use these rods for the lower limbs of the rear leg. With the legs attached, I'll continue building the tail. Like all cats, the tail provides a counterbalance, but it also has other environmental sensors as well. As it is the highest point on the robot, it houses the communications array as well as a terrain mapping sensor. This is the rear foot. It needs to be bigger than the front foot. I hope that I've been able to mimic the same complexity that the rear foot of a cat has. I'll attach both feet of the lower limbs to the back leg. With the front feet attached, I can attach the optical sensors where the eyes of the feline would be. In addition, pheromone and other receptors are located in the head. Remember that this robot is meant to be stealthy, much like this cat. Yup, no one knows that there's a cat here. There are no clues whatsoever. I'll use packing foam to give this model some bulk. I'll use small strips and then carve them into shape, marking where the tail will be, and finally cutting it into a rough shape. Though I did lose all of this footage. Luckily, the process is easy enough that you can understand how I did it from seeing me cover just the front leg. Then I just tape the pieces together until the adhesive dries. Once the adhesive is dry, we'll just take the tape off, and I'll use a hobby knife to start to carve the body into the shape of a cat. I didn't put too much effort into finishing this because I'm going to cover the body in yarn to make it look like fur. Once I cover the hind leg that I chose not to remain as a skeletal structure with a layer of foam, I can shape the leg once the adhesive is dried. I covered the foam with Mod Podge because I thought that the foam might need to be protected. Once the model is covered with primer, I'll paint all of the structural metal parts in a white base coat. This will be followed with the metallic paint so that it looks like metal. Now I can start to cover the body of this model in yarn, using the technique of cutting small clumps of yarn from a skein and wood gluing them to the body. My only problem is that this is the last small ball of this color yarn. Once I've used the entire ball, I'll trim the ends and use the trim parts to continue to cover the model. If you look closely, you'll see where I had to use a different color yarn to fill in when I was completely out. Then I'll paint the parts that no one will ever see brown. No one will see these parts because they're the undersides of the feet and legs. These Lego pieces will be the photoreceptor eyes, and I'll glue them where the optical receptors are housed. And with this, I can present to you a stealth war robot that is partially constructed or under repairs with the skeletal structure exposed. This type of warbot is operated by the Children of War and generally from remote-controlled underground bases. This specific style of warbot was designed for reconnaissance and surveillance, and an AI algorithm analyzes camera feeds and detects enemy movements, tracks targets, and carries out firing solutions. This type of robot can endure dust, explosion, and unpredictable movements like falling out of trees or off of cliffs, and it has sound dampening for stealth movements. These robots receive regular updates to make them look like they're ever-evolving animals of the forest, and they're not connected to any communication systems known to the enemy. They use a DNA security feature that's similar to a handprint or a retinal scan that needs 2 authorized people to unlock or operate it. However, there are some security risks. These can be hacked by people with superior technology, or they can be stolen with the authorization of 2 traders. Thank you for watching, and please support Casey Hudson at worldworkings.com. You can also find her on Patreon. This has been Aaron Does It Wrong.